Hello and welcome to another edition of Rake Reflects. On today's edition, we're going to be playing Pied Piper. Piper is, I think, Piper and Skip are about the same. I just felt like doing Piper today. Um, Sometimes, yeah, just felt like doing Piper. And then this first shop is a little bit interesting. I choose to, obviously we're going to take the upgraded Polywoggle with the +1/+1. And then I am going to lock the shop for the Wizard's Familiar and Genie's Wish combo. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. And we get into combat and get lucky, get that first attack in. And then looking at this shop, okay, so now we can we're just getting some pretty good high rolls. Getting that Wizard's Familiar, sorry, getting the Spellweaver and the Wizard's Familiar makes that Genie's Wish just a slam dunk, and it even hits us a nice little econ spell with the Shrink Ray. So we're going to go ahead and lock that in, pop on to into the first round, and pretty easy win when we get the first attack there. And from here, there's a couple different things to do. I do really want to cast a spell. I'm definitely going to pick up this Polywoggle, and so normally I don't like to get sugar and spice on on the good egg, but it seemed all right. And then I try and position the best I can to get this Polywoggle to slay. I'm just trying to figure out what the best way to do that is, and this is what I come up with. It seems reasonable, but um, we don't get that slay in. We miss a 50-50 on that, but we win the fight easily enough. And then here, yeah, we're just going to keep casting as many Genie's Wishes as we can. And we end up with this triply, which is not great, not quite what we're looking for. But we will go ahead and sell to get this upgraded pig with the Pied Piper ability on it. And again, a couple different competing things. I do want to get the Polywoggle Slay. Kind of want to protect the good egg. Want to make sure the prize pig lives. So this is how I position it. I kind of give up on the good egg. Like, it can die. You know, it's just like Drago said, if he dies, he dies. And then here, pretty definitely going to take the second pig, and then think about taking this this Turkish Delight. Decide not to, and then we're still looking for, you know, still looking for a direction. We definitely want to keep casting spells with our board, and then we get to upgrade this Wizard's Familiar, likely. Again, still trying to throw the Polywoggle in a spot where it could get a slay. A little bit awkward here, but so it goes. And we get into the fight, which our opponent was only playing 4 characters, so we get a pretty easy win. We get all our sweet pig gold. We get to upgrade this. We did lose the good egg, but so it goes. I'm going to take these sandals. Thought about grabbing just a random level 3 character, or a random level 3 animal specifically. And then we get to go ahead and get this Polywoggle upgraded. I'm going to take the extra economy, and we're going to mix the Whizzle, our Wizard's Familiar here. And here, I take the Fairy Tale. I probably should have just skipped and rolled to get another spell. Just like the Fairy Tale isn't going to do that much for us. We're probably not going to be buying. We're a little bit incentivized to cast more spells, so that means we end up buying fewer characters. But yeah, and then we reposition to get the Polywoggle in slot 5, hopefully get buffed by this big old elk, and get a slay. I'm not going to get greedy and try and wait to do that on the next level, because who knows, or we're not going to have this upgraded stag to pump its stats, you know. not getting too greedy. We end up with this Merfolk princess, which is going to be pretty good with. So I made a little mistake here. Is that I was probably going to replace this that that particular um, that treasure. So we should have bought the dragon first, so it would have had an extra +1/+1 right now. But and then we can see spell books, so we can start casting spell or start scaling up these wizards familiars pretty easily. And here I probably should have thrown the wizards familiar in the back into the game to try and get a little extra scaling off the spell book. Like we're losing +1/+1 from the Cinderella, but that's no big deal. And if we can get that little bit of scaling in, so much the better. We get lucky with this first attack, and that we get a second attack with the dragon, so that gets to scale up real nice. And then our opponent's not really doing too much here, so we get a pretty easy win. And thought about a little bit this. Thought about the taking the copycat, since we already have the spell book and we have the Hermes boots to get the first attack in every time. Would have been a reasonable way to go, but since I already had the lightning dragon and the merfolk thing, I thought it would probably be okay to keep that. I probably should have also fired. I got a little too attached to that particular combo. I think I probably should have fired off the True Love's Kiss on the merfolk princess, so she would have, just get taken a random upgraded level 5. Also could have done that to the pig, although we're doing pretty well here, so we can keep farming that pig gold. And we get another upgraded Wizard's Familiar. So definitely want to start leading into the spells. Don't really love any of these treasures. I'm just going to take the skip, take the extra 2 gold. And scaling a third Wizard's Familiar is probably a little too ambitious here, so we skip that. And not seeing too much is interesting. Maybe I could have taken the Medusa there, but we go ahead and sell out and get these spell books going. And obviously we're going to lock for this upgraded spell book. We get a kidnap in for the bonus. I think I got a little too greedy there, but I got rewarded for my greed, as we do in America. So this fight goes well for us. We gets all the scaling we're looking for, basically. Not really too much going on from our opponent. And we get to get this forking rod going, which is awesome. I decided to try and keep my economy going and lose the automatic first attack. I skipped it. I'm a little surprised I skipped that Sporco. Just like, maybe that was probably fine. But, and I am going to get greedy, and I am super rewarded for the greed here. And then I get to cast Turkish Delight for just 2 gold. And I get to cast it twice, so I traded the 2 reserve characters for 2 levels, which is just fantastic. And we get into this next combat. We're doing pretty. I mean, this is turn 4.1, I believe, 4.2. Yeah, 4.2, and we are just like smashing people, which is awesome. We see more mage stuff. We got everything except the ball. Unfortunately, don't have that ball rolling, but these other things are all right. And I probably should have just cast this Feed the Kraken, but I decided to get a little bit greedy and roll, and we get rewarded for our greed by making a reckless wager, and we get to lock this in. And definitely want to rearrange these things, try and get these Wizards Familiars scaled up as much as possible, which is pretty good. And we get into the combat, which, just as usual, goes our way. Have not lost a single fight so far, which is it's good to not lose. Not losing is awesome. we have been favored in the majority of these fights. Now we've just got tons of gold from the double reckless wager. And with all that gold, I'm really hoping to find a way that we can keep this upgraded level 6. Not really too interested in these treasures. We'll just keep with what we go and take the extra gold. Keep looking for a way to keep this upgraded level 6. Doesn't really happen. And we're again looking for. We're lucky that this the burn beard in the back was able to take the tree buff. So we got some things cooking here. Scaling mostly in combat, but also being level 6 so early means we get access to pigamorphs and more powerful spells in combat. So it's pretty strong. So we go ahead and dispatch this Gwyn. And again, we're just looking to. I probably could have at some point tried to take a level 3 animal to scale it to get the ball rolling, but I was kind of always hoping I'd see another Spellweaver and I could just do it that way and do it with the character I actually wanted to play, but it was not to be. Happy to get this Masquerade Ball fired off so we can get a look at all shop full of level 6s. And there's a couple different ways I could go here. I could sell out and take the Hercules, which is what I do. I also could have just, instead of trying to get the Hercules, my level 6 treasure through my Hercules, I could have locked and bought a Broomhilda, which would be another path to a level 6. It is a mage, which could have been scaled with my Aeons that are just kind of like sitting on the back row, because I'm not that interested in additional spell cost reduction, and I'm not that interested in just extra attack on my characters. So, and here I could have taken the plus 10 attack and done that on the Hercules to get that off in 2, so it would only take 2 hits to get its level 6. But I didn't want to do it this early in the turn, because I want to have more access to cantrips and other things, other spells we could have doubled up. I'm happy to go ahead and get this smite in, double smite. Excuse me. And at this point, can't really leave a Scion on the back bench, and probably that was a little mistake. I think it would have been smarter for me to leave the Scion of the Storm in slot 5 and have the upgraded Wizard's Familiars in slots 6 and 7. So that way I would have been able to. It would have increased my likely damage output a tiny bit, and there's not a huge difference between these characters. So Smite comes in, knocking out 2 back row range characters before the good boy gets to pump them up. So that was pretty huge for us. We were favored in this fight, but it definitely went our way. The double smite did huge work there, and still looking to really put a yeah. So we're doing well, especially for we're a couple levels ahead. I get a little punished by taking that smite, but smite's been working out, so I can't complain too much. And then we're just looking to get level 6 treasures, basically. I would love to upgrade these Aeons, but things are going well. We've got we're good to cast 4 spells in combat in addition to this double smite. Plus, we've got 4 characters that are 100 plus characters, so can't complain too much. I did move the Hercules into slot 1 to try to give it a better chance of getting two attacks in and getting us that level 6 treasure for the next fight, but didn't happen. Didn't need it. So again, we're into the finals. We have one opponent left, and we have not lost a match, a single fight. And hey, there's that level 6 treasure. And the Mimic could do some good things here. It could clearly take that over 1 extra gold per turn. So this means we now triple our spells if they are cheap, and our spells are almost all super cheap because of the double hat. And we go ahead and fire the True Love's Kiss off on our biggest wizard familiar to turn that into a really big Cupid. And time's starting to run out. So we just go ahead and fire through these things. Definitely going to lock that. So we got access next turn to a triple Pigamorph. Hopefully you should get a level 6 treasure. And so it was somewhere in here. So our opponent is on a kind of a sleigh build, which I took a look at. So I chose to keep the Cupid in the back line and make it so it makes it hard for them to get an initial sleigh in to scale possible Yorgamens that they could have gotten to. And again, very happy to triple Pigamorph should win us the next fight regardless. But it turns out we just get in this combat and they're not that strong. We don't get great spells going, but you know, just even their upgraded characters aren't that big, and we take the win. And so that, my friends, is what we call a
flawless victory. Flawless victory.
Which is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I don't get too many of those. I think I've had 1 or 2 of those before then. But thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe if you want some more of this. And until next time, may all your shops be gorgeous and all your hits be surgical.